Hello YouTubers, welcome to vlog number 109. Today I've got an exciting morning anyway, at least planned, due to doing a 3x2k in the 8. Hopefully we get to do some side-by-side action with some other boats, but we'll soon find out about that. Got my smoothie this morning, oh yeah buddy. So we're going to head down to the club nice and safe. See you there. And we've reached Leander Club. Yeah, buddy. Weather similar to yesterday. Hopefully it ends up being similar to yesterday in the afternoon. Lovely and sunny. Read a lot of comments about the podcast. Seems like the majority are thinking keeping ERG thoughts how it is. And then if it was even to do a podcast, to do something like a different subject. But who knows? We'll see what happens with that. Then we're going to go into the club, get changed, and get in the 8 for some yamming on it. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Yeah, up. Okay, splitting the stern, ready, down. Keep the bow up.
Push. Oh, are you using that seat pad? Okay, no worries. I'm just trying to steal someone's seat pad. Balfour's crushing it.
Okay, and welcome to ERG Thoughts with Buchan on another wonderful day. As we've got Vas Ragu in slow-mo now. And the stroke man right now of this 8. And with Ollie McLean behind him. From Northeastern University. My alma mater. And as you can tell from the title, today was some 3x2Ks on the water rather than on the ERG. So you can kind of compare as we transfer over. So this is the last piece. I think it was the last piece. I think it was the last piece of the 3x2Ks. Vas giving it some. The rest of us giving it some, backing them up. And I was just thought today's ERG thoughts are just the differences between sort of rowing on the water and rowing on the ERG. So last week I did the 3x2K on the ERG. Yes, it was lower rate. So today we were from 26 to 30. And the last time on the ERG I was 22, 24, 26. So a few beats higher. So that's a little bit different there. But ignoring that difference, there's so many other differences between the ERG and the water. So the obvious one, you're on the water, which just adds lots of different variabilities to the sort of stroke itself, to how you take the stroke, how you make the stroke. And that can be pretty much one of the biggest differences. Not so much the obvious is you're on the water versus not, but what the water introduces, the instability it introduces, which makes water rowing so much different than on the ERG rowing. And so for example, so you go to take on the ERG, it's all the time you go to take the catch, the part of the stroke next to the screen, and then you pull back or you push with your legs back and then you finish. Every stroke's the same, back and forward. On the water, it's not quite the same, because so say your boat is perfectly set, perfectly sat, and you're going up and down the slide. It can be, well, you've obviously got, this is a sweep boat, so you're actually rotating round. So you've got that rotation there, which adds a little bit of sort of, adds a different sort of skill level than the ERG itself. But not that much, but instead of going just straight up and down, you're going either to the left side or the right side, depending on what time you row. And on top of that, with the water rowing, with the water moving around you, the water, especially on like the stretch like Henley, you've got the stream which can sort of, depending on where you come into the stream, out of the stream, in the stream, It can move the boat either way, so even if you're sort of fully set, you can have different pressures on either side of the boat, which means that each side can apply pressure differently, etc. So that can mean that from one stroke to the next, it can be different in some way, especially if they're not perfectly set. So if you're not perfectly set, you get sort of the guessing game of where the stroke is, and that's where really good rowers sort of excel, is even in the bad conditions, even at the times where they're thinking, I don't know where this next stroke's going to go, they always produce very close to the same stroke. The consistency level is very high. But that's pretty much one huge difference between rowing on the water and rowing on the erg. As we pass a boat here, unfortunately it wasn't a race, that's just a paddling boat and we're doing pieces. Unfortunately, or fortunately depending on the where you look at it, that is one of the huge differences between rowing on the water and erg. Is it's so much easier to produce consistency on the rowing machine just because it's on land, it doesn't move. But versus the platform underneath you on the water, in a boat, moves around a bit, and that introduces quite a lot of difficulties. Effort-wise, I find you can talk to very many different people that row, and you can have loads of different. Well, there's a few different opinions of sort of intensity and effort-wise, erg versus water rowing. Some people, I sort of fall into this category where I find that I can push myself, or at least get to that limit where I'm sort of throwing up and whatnot and blacking out on the rowing machine. But on the water, not so much. It doesn't quite get that feeling. This could be because most of my rowing's been in 8s, so the race itself that I find myself in lasts less time. So my PB on the erg is slower than I would be going on the water. So the fastest I've been in a boat is 5:21. My PB on the 2K is not 5:21. So maybe it's the difference in time, so it can't get to that level. Or maybe it's just the efficiencies as we're stepping up in the last 500 here. Maybe it's the efficiencies that you end up finding, or lack of efficiency, sorry, on the water, that mean that you can push yourself just a little bit harder on the rowing machine, where all you're just concentrating on is pushing as hard as you can. But on the water, you're trying to push as hard as you can, but you're trying not to upset the boat. And this comes into it. So yes, you want to apply max power as we're trying to do in this last bit here, but also you're trying to apply power with a lot of different guys, so you're trying to match up. You don't want to upset the boat too much, which is a big part of rowing and very team orientated, like I've mentioned before. And another thing about so that was where I sit. Some people find that they can push themselves harder on the water versus on the erg, which I find interesting as well. Perhaps having the screen in front of you or in front of someone, they find it quite difficult to have that screen constantly staring at them, and then you go in the water where there's less of a screen, it's more of just a competition against other people, especially if you're doing side-by-side racing, and it's you do anything to beat that person, rather than when you're on the row machine it's pretty much anything to beat yourself. And maybe that's something to do with why some people find it difficult to push themselves that bit harder on the erg than the water. But who knows, because I'm not in that camp. But let me know in the comments below as we finish this piece. Let me know in the comments below what camp you're in. Can you push yourself harder on the erg or the water? I'll see you after I'm finished this practice.
One now!
And an excellent 3x2K on the water in the 8. How did you think it went, Fraser?
I was good, lot of heat.
Lot of heat. The water was boiling underneath us. I'm just waiting on my breakfast right now. So just an empty plate of food. Excellent, that's Frank's food. My food's not here. I've got 14 eggs, 6 pieces of bacon, a loaf of bread, some beans, and then a little bit of avocado to finish off because the gains train's going through this house. And we're going out in another session. Let's get to it. And we're going to go back on the water for a nice short panel to do some assessments of the guys that are being switching in and out. Oh yeah, buddy, let's get on it! Ah! And we've made it outside after a wonderful shorter session with the boys in the 8K. In the 8, just more assessing done as we select the crew for Henley Royal Regatta. Now we're outside. It's a barbecue this evening, this afternoon, whatever time it is. Just all getting set up in the sunny Henley skies. Sun's out, guns out, because again, train's in full flow. Isn't that right, Patrick?
Yes, very true.
Would you agree?
I would agree.
Yes. All agreeing across the board. But that'll be it for the rest of the vlog for today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Remember, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that like button and have a good one.